Hi guys, this is Zach from Watches9U, and today we're going to be taking a look at another Breguet. This is the Breguet Classique Chronometrie reference 7727BR. So this watch was a pretty big deal when it originally came out, as it had some very special technologies in it. Most notably, it has the 10 Hz escapement, which just provides an extremely smooth second-hand action and just an extremely smooth movement as in general. So you can actually see that it has a 2-second dial up near 1 o'clock, and just watching that go around, it's absolutely beautiful, and I love just seeing that. And it really shows how smooth this movement is, as they can really bring it down to a 2-second dial and it still looks smooth. So you do have, though, your larger 60 running seconds dial, just that makes it a lot easier to read. But I love watching the 2-second dial go around. It just looks absolutely beautiful. Now you also have a power reserve down by 5 o'clock, and it has a 60-hour power reserve on this watch as well, which is absolutely fantastic. That's not really, I guess, industry changing, but it's another notable feature that this watch has. And another main thing that Breguet brought into this watch was actually a Breguet invention, and it is the magnetic pivot for the balance wheel. So what's interesting with that is a normal balance wheel is really completely locked into the movement, cannot move whatsoever. But what Breguet found was that with regards to impacts or something, that makes the balance wheel very, very vulnerable to breaking. So they designed a pivot system where magnets will actually hold the balance wheel upright, so that way in regular situations it's going to be upright, no problem at all. But if this watch takes an impact or something, the balance will actually be able to move a little bit and then go right back. So that allows it just to be a lot more durable without having to worry about breaking when it comes to impact. Now, you also may ask, well, that might ruin the timing of the piece, but it actually really doesn't. This is a full chronometer, no issues there. The accuracy is still retained even with that pivot. So now let's go over the case. So the case is 41 millimeters, and this model is rose gold. They also do it in another gold. They do it, I believe, in a pink gold and a white gold. And it looks absolutely stunning. It's got the classic Breguet coin edging. You can see the classic Breguet lugs, and you can see the polishing on the bezel and at the side as well. And all the finishing is done absolutely spectacularly. Breguet is really second to none when it comes to finishing, and they do an excellent job on all of their watches. There really isn't one that they kind of let down. Some people seem to think that the Type 20 series is worse in quality from the others, but I actually have a Type 20, and I definitely do not see that with that watch. It is top-notch quality. So now, going back to the movement. So there actually is a sapphire case back on this watch, and you can see the beautiful movement of the chronometry. Let me get it focused there. It just looks absolutely stunning. You can see the mainspring, you can see that balance wheel. If you notice not only the speed of the balance wheel, but you can see that the pivot, I guess, where it's being held is a little bit designed in a little bit different fashion. It doesn't really have one solid balanced cock. It has kind of more things branching off of it, and that's to contain the pivot, which is obviously going to be a lot more complex to manufacture than the traditional balance wheel. So the finishing on the movement, though, is absolutely spectacular. I mean, it's really, really top-notch grade. You can see the beautiful Côte de Genève, and there really isn't anything in these movements that is not finished to the highest quality. So now I'm going to actually talk a little bit more about the dial. So I had really passed over the finishing on the dial, but Breguet's finishing on their dials is absolutely fantastic. They always do tons of different kinds of finishing. You can see the almost Côte de Genève pattern in the center of the dial. You can see this kind of, I guess, weave pattern for the power reserve dial, and then you can see this kind of standard guilloche pattern for the subdial second style, and then you can see that on the outside as well. So Breguet really, with regards to their dial finishing, is absolutely fantastic. No one makes dials like Breguet anymore. I mean, they just put so many different elements of finishing in it that really no other brand can compete with. So now let's do a wrist shot. So on the wrist, this watch feels like a classic dress watch should. So actually, though, to put it on the clasp, very easy. It's a butterfly clasp. So this end will just lock down. You can hear it click. And then this end, you'll just fold that over then. and it will go on the wrist. And this is a push button operated opening, so it makes it very, very easy. And you really actually don't need to use this unless you have a very large wrist, just because you can kind of slip it. I mean, I would, but I'm sure some people could actually get it off without having to undo the other part of the deployment. So on the wrist, it's great. It feels like a classic dress watch, no problems there. The alligator strap is extremely comfortable, thickness is just right for a dress watch, definitely not going to get caught on the cuff of your shirt, but it's not so thin it feels flimsy in any way. It's absolutely perfect, very thin, very elegant. So again, the dial, I mean, it is unbelievable. For a dress watch, this just offers so much more finishing than most other brands do. It is a total, I guess, completely contracts other watches like some Patek Philippe Calatravas or the Vacheron Constantin Patrimony series, where they really, really stand out, are extremely unique, and put a lot more effort, I think, into their dials, and it really shows, and I love Breguet dials. So I'd like to mention that we'll be leaving a link in the description to the Breguet website if you would like to inquire about purchasing this piece or learn more about it. And I'd also like to give a thank you to the Breguet Boutique in New York City for letting us review this piece. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. Thank you.